Hey everybody, it's Boo-Ray Perry from Tampa, Florida, and today we are going to talk about the X3 Pro trigger from Godox. We want to do a little bit of a dive into this trigger because I have used just about every trigger that Godox has ever made. So a couple of things I want to talk about today. First of all, is this a worthy successor to the X3? It's a Pro now. It's going to cost a little bit more money. Is it worth that money? And also, where does it stand in the lexicon of Godox triggers and triggers in general? Is it a really, really great trigger, or is it not so much? All right, let's get started. All right, let's start off by just talking about the features that come in the X3 Pro that you're not going to get in the X3. First of all, price. This one retailing at the time of this video for about $99. This one retails for about $79. So we're talking about a $20 difference between these two units. So all we have to do is find $20 worth of features in this unit to make it worth the upgrade from this unit. All right, so we'll start off with the screens. Obviously, the screen on the X Pro is going to be bigger than the screen on the standard X3. So there you go. That's your $20 right there. So, I'm sorry. That alone is worth the price of the upgrade. The screen is going to be bigger on the X3 Pro than on the X3. It's also got more color features in it than you will find on the X3. See the little color lines here under the A, the B, the C. They color code the things, not just having the letters. And because the screen is bigger, you can get more groups on the screen. You can get 3 groups on the X3 and 4 groups on the X3 Pro, and you can dial down to get more groups should you have them. So that alone, that's your 20 bucks right there. 1.7-inch screen versus 2.4-inch color screen. All right, group display, 3 groups versus 4 groups. We got that covered too. Then there's the battery. The X3 comes with an 850 mAh battery. The X3 Pro comes with a 2,930 mAh battery. That's 3.5 times the capacity that you will find in this trigger. To put that into real world terms, this is about 7 days of power, and this is about 35 days. That's the standby. Standby on this is 35 days, over a month, whereas this is just a week. Another very important feature, especially if you're shooting in any place where it might be kind of dark around where you're using this trigger, is that the Pro has a assist beam for focusing, and the standard X3 does not. That assist beam, that can be huge, especially if you're doing event work, because you're shooting a dance floor. It's really, really dark. You've had to set up some strobes around the room to light everything. That assist beam will help you with your focusing, and it's invaluable if you are an event photographer. Also, there's a PC sync port. I say P3, a PC sync port right here on the X3 Pro. So if you're using older studio strobes or external light meters, you can plug in directly to this and still use them. You can't do that with the X3. It's obvious once you start looking at these two that you realize that this is a full-featured trigger for your strobes. This is a nano trigger. This is designed for a person who wants the smallest footprint possible and the least amount of weight. This one does weigh a little bit more. It's not really enough to even worry about, but this is a nano trigger. So if you're talking about, for example, something like the X100, right? If you've got an X100 series, this, not as nice as this. See? Bigger, covers more of your dials over here, so forth, but this one, no, this fits perfect with this particular camera. So it's not so much that this is a great trigger and this one's not so great. It's just really that they're built for different purposes. This is perfectly built for what it's intended to be, which is a nano trigger. Both of these also have their 2.4 gigahertz operating system, so they will fire any flash in the Godox line, but this one, the X3 Pro, has Bluetooth, which allows it to connect to the app that Godox has that goes on your phone. Now what that will do is they'll let you save, manage, and backup lighting presets. You can also export and share your setups as a QR code for another photographer if you want to. So if you're a person who likes to do your setups, especially in studio, and then you want to be able to quickly call them all back and have all your flashes at the same power that you had them at when you were doing that shoot 3 weeks ago, you can do that because you can save them in the app and have them come straight to the X3 Pro. There is also, on this one, a built-in intervalometer, or as I like to say, an intervalometer. So if you want to do time-lapse photography, you want to do long exposure photography, so forth, you can control the shutter with the X3 Pro. This one weighs about 103 grams. This one weighs about 48 grams. So yeah, this one is about twice as heavy as this one, but the weight is pretty much negligible at this part. Again, at this point, again, the weight's really only going to matter to you if you're using this on a small camera. At least that's the way that I feel about it. Now let's just take a second to look at a little bit about how the inside of this works. I'm not going to go through every feature that is on this particular trigger, but I do want to just show you some of the things. So here's your groups, A, B, C, D. Now you can just touch a group to bring up its screen. If you want to turn it off, you can just turn it off right there, and now it won't be there anymore. Bring it back up there. This is your plus and minus. Right now we are in TTL mode. We can kick to manual, and we can kick back to TTL. Now this is important. One of the triggers that I have used for years with Godox, and to be honest, I still use this trigger to this day for most of my day-to-day work. I mean, you can see, I've even had to tape it up over the years, is one of the earlier triggers, the X Pro. And the reason I love this is because of the TCM button right here. I will put this in TTL mode, take a picture, check my light. If I like that value, then I would just hit the TCM button and it will automatically switch to manual and keep that flash power that I had on the TTL shot. It makes it very quick when you're setting up your shots. This one has it as well, but it doesn't have it as a button right there on the outside. Instead, basically, if you're in TTL mode and you take a picture or whatever, when you go to manual, it will give you the same flash power that you just had in TTL mode. So if you want to use TCM, and I do all the time, that's how you do it. See this little bar on the left side of the screen? That's how you get back to your main screen. So if I was using just one flash in A, take a picture in TTL mode, I like that. I would just go bink, bink, and now we're good to go. And now we're in manual mode on A. Are we using B, C, and D? Well, maybe not. Well, let's just turn them off then. We don't need them. Now they're turned off. Did I not get B off? I did not get that. Now they're turned off, but they're still showing. I can actually make them disappear from the screen as well if I want to. If you go up to this button right there, it brings up all of them, and then you can just boom, boom, boom. And now they're completely gone. And I'm just dealing with the one flash, a group. If I want to add a group, click there, there, and now my group is back. And most of the things that you can do with your fingers swiping around, you can also do with the dial. So if you turn the dial to there and then click it, now you're operating the dial. And you can turn up your power and turn down your power. Or you can just press the buttons on the side to turn up and turn down your power. Or you can just swipe. Swiping is a little tricky because you're covering up the value. But you can, if you want to, just swipe. Now, push this button again, the power button on the side, and this brings up your bigger menus. Your wireless, if you want to connect so that your wireless settings is where you go if you want to change your groups or you want to change what channel that you're using. And if you hit menu, it brings up everything. So in here you can do all the little settings, all the changes that you want to do. Change your high-speed sync delay, change your trigger distribution if you're doing time lapse or anything that would require Intervalometer. So that's all here. To get out, again, just swipe and you come back to your main screen. Want to go back to TTL? No problem. We'll just go back to TPL. Back to TTL here? No problem. Back to TTL. It's really a very robust and very, very functional, rechargeable trigger. Be sure and click the link in the description to go to my website where you will find 2 completely free ebooks that you can download, as well as my ebook on natural light photography and my video on how to shoot portraits on location with off-camera light. And don't forget to check out all my gear, which is on Amazon.com, and if you click a link and you buy something, I get a small commission, and it's a great way to support the channel. Well, it's probably pretty obvious where I'm going to come down on this trigger. It is absolutely a great trigger from Godox. The price is great. It's a worthy upgrade to the X3. If you want to go from the X3 to the X3 Pro, for the price, it's like an extra 20 bucks. You get a bigger screen, you get a bigger battery, you get all these other features also that even if you don't use them, they're there if you ever do need them. But honestly, just the battery and the screen and the ease of use alone is worth the upgrade as far as I'm concerned. It's absolutely a great trigger, and it's going to be my go-to trigger from now on. Be sure and give me a follow and a like and a subscribe and all the other things that you have to do. Follow me on Instagram and Threads, and join my group on Facebook called Pro Photo Talk with Blu-ray Perry. And be sure and ring the bell when you give me that subscribe so you get notifications when I put other things on my channel. Thanks for watching. See you next time.